focus on your breathing and like get it together. I looked around at the most like beautiful beach I've ever seen in my life, and the thought crossed my mind that like I could die here. I could die like on this beautiful beach. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Pod Abroad. My name is Paulina de los Santos, and we're back here in Munich, Germany. Just for some context, I am an American who has lived in Germany for 8.5 years. And on the last episode, I was in Bangkok speaking with one of my friends, Ong, who I had studied with here in Munich. So today's episode is going to be all about my trip to Thailand that I had recently. It was my first time there with my partner, Tim. And I wanted to just kind of give you guys a rundown if anybody's curious about going to Thailand, or if you know somebody who is, then I think that could be, pretty fun if you guys stuck around. So in this episode, I will cover a bit about our accommodations, food, some tips, what to pack, kind of culture shock moments, a story about how I thought I was going to die. I wish I was joking. I seriously wish I was joking, but yeah. So if you want to listen, then yeah, thanks for joining. So I wanted to start with the question, why Thailand? So for some background, I think for any listeners in the US right now, I just wanted to explain kind of the situation here in Germany as an American working here. The standard at a corporation, like working for a corporate, is 30 days of vacation, like 28 to 30 days of paid vacation a year, which is something that I am incredibly grateful for. And I think in Germany, the federal standard is 22 days a year as a minimum. So with that being said, I feel so incredibly privileged to be able to take trips around the world because of, having enough time and thankfully enough money because of working right now. The other day, actually, my boyfriend and I were laughing. Like I was saying, what's crazy is that we both met each other like at a point where we were both employed with full-time jobs. So that's a beautiful thing because we laugh and like talk about the struggle of like being a student with one another, but we didn't know each other then. So we live together and we are dinks. I think that's such a funny term, which means like dual income, no kids. And therefore we feel very, very privileged to be able to travel the world and see other places together and experience countries for the first time with one another. It was in 2023 that Tim and I went to Asia for the first time, both of us, and we went to South Korea because one of my sweet friends, Dasom, is from there, and I met her also in my master's program here in Munich. Something I'm so grateful for from my master's is getting to meet people from all around the world and really just kind of listen to them, understand different cultures, and hear it, through their perspective. So we went to Korea 2 years ago and had an incredible time, ate a lot of amazing food, came back here, and knew that we wanted to, of course, go back to Asia one day, see another country. And deciding on Thailand actually wasn't super hard in a sense because we had many, many people here in Munich, friends who have been before and had nothing but good things to say. So everyone that we had spoken to had said like, oh my gosh, you have to go to Thailand. Like the food's incredible. The people are amazing. Like culture's so warm, like gorgeous beaches. So we were just like, okay, I mean, this sounds amazing. So why not? Luckily, we were able to find a direct flight with Lufthansa out of Munich. So that was amazing, getting to go into one little metal tube and wake up and then be on the other side of the world. I think that's incredible. From Munich to Bangkok, I think it was something like 12 hours. And the cost of our flight, I think, was like 850 euros. So not cheap, that's for sure. But we got to recognize that privilege every day and be grateful for it. So wanted to start off with a bit of our itinerary. We were there for about 2 weeks. and it consisted of three main locations. No, four actually main locations. We first, of course, touched down in Bangkok, spent 4 nights there. And then we went on to Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is in the north. We flew there, spent 3 nights there. Chiang Mai is also the second largest city in Thailand. So Bangkok is known to have, I think, 10.5 million people or so. And Chiang Mai has, I think, 1.2 million. So you can already see there like the big difference that like Bangkok's just this crazy mega city. Chiang Mai is more calm. So we had Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and then we had kind of the more beachy areas. We spent 4 nights in Ao Nang, which is kind of on the peninsula area in the south. And then we spent the last 4 nights on an island called Koh Samui. So when we were trying to gather this itinerary of what we wanted to do, Tim and I, came to an agreement that we would do a bit of city and a bit of beach and relaxing, so that we could get, the full experience. There were lessons learned, that's for sure. And I have a friend, Rez, who has been here on the podcast actually, who used to live in Bangkok, her and her partner, Dale. And we had told them like, oh, we're so excited. We're going to Bangkok. Like y'all live there for 4 years. And they said, yeah, anything you need, like just ask us. And we proceeded then to not ask them for solid advice. We just created a schedule on our own because we were like, oh, we don't want to be a problem. And we made our whole little itinerary. And yeah, like I said, lessons were learned. Maybe we should have chosen different areas. Nevertheless, it was still a lot of fun. So I wanted to go into the first stop, which was Bangkok. My first impressions when I get there is that this city is crazy, absolutely crazy, and nobody could have prepared me for that. The funny thing, I'm so ignorant, is that I thought because I live in Munich, Germany, that I'm a city girl. Like, I live in a city. Like, I must be a city girl then. And boy, was I wrong. Like, so wrong. Bangkok is just another world. It is insane. It is loud and alive, and like the hustle and bustle is real, like at any hour. For anyone that knows Munich, Germany, Munich is a city that sleeps. Seriously, like you can be in the city center at midnight on a Friday and it's going to be dead. There might be like some teenagers playing around on the streets, like, but it's just nothing like these big urban mega cities. So we get there. It's crazy. There's just so many cars. And I mean, I come from Texas where like in Houston, like it's such a car dominant city as well. But I think it's just a bit different, like in a sense of like, I don't know, people are also walking and there are a lot of motorcyclists. So that's actually probably the biggest difference between like life in Houston and in Bangkok, for example, is that in Bangkok, there are just motorcycles everywhere. You cannot escape them. And they are driving like bats out of hell. It's just really intense, like whenever you're trying to cross the streets, and the pollution is pretty high. They say like on some days there's like pollution warnings. And one of the days that we were in Bangkok, actually we got back to our hotel and both of our throats were burning. My throat was burning as if it was like raw and kind of like a sore throat feeling. And this was a direct result from the pollution, which is really sad when you think about it. And something that we definitely take for granted here in Munich, Germany. Of just having this fresh air to breathe versus such a metropolitan big city. So yeah, first impressions were like, oh my gosh, I'm just a mere ant in this place. But I was very, very excited. We stayed in a small boutique hotel next to this mall called Iconium. And the mall had like every store like you could think of also that is in the US. Like Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret, like stores that we don't have here in Germany. So I was just like, okay, this is just like, reminiscent of the US, like that, I will say. The highways as well, reminiscent of the US. So there was a little bit of familiarity, at least there. Um, we touched down, like we stay in our little boutique hotel, left our stuff there, and then my boyfriend and I, Tim, like we're like, okay, like first like order of business is getting a massage. We were so excited. Like we love getting massages here in Munich. We probably get one maybe like quarterly. They're very expensive, so it's definitely like not a normal monthly occurrence, but something that we really enjoy. I didn't grow up getting massages. I think neither did Tim. It's like not in my culture in Texas necessarily, but it's something that like, I mean, with our full time salaries now that we're like, okay, like treat yourself and like, sitting at a desk 8 hours a day is like not good on the shoulders. So we're just massage enthusiasts now, and if you are too, then Bangkok's like the best place to be. We had an incredible massage there. And then we went on to dinner. And I remember it was a place called Asiatique, that was kind of like modern and westernized as well. Like we really like wanted to experience something authentic, like take us to where the locals are, like where we can get street food. And we somehow ended up at Asiatique, and it was very modern and expensive and like nice and clean and um just like packaged kind of for tourists. And like we were like, okay, not coming back here. We want more of an authentic feel. So one of the highlights food wise was then definitely going to Chinatown. That was a blast. To give you guys a picture of like what it was like, there are food stands like on both sides of like this major street, and the food stalls are literally like on the street, and there are cars driving like right by on both sides. It's just crazy. It's chaos, and like the food all looks so good. Um but that was a lot of fun and definitely something that I could recommend. We did, of course, see some palaces. We went to the Grand Palace in Bangkok. That was incredible. And then to Wat Arun, also very nice. I just remember it being blazing hot. It was March in Thailand, and it was just so hot to be a tourist that we were always trying to just like chase like the shadows and find a little place to rest, and drinking a lot of water. Probably still not enough. But the palaces were absolutely amazing. I mean, words can't even describe like how beautiful it like they were, and how beautiful it is to be able to see these, yeah, marvelous pieces of architecture in the flesh. Just absolutely stunning. I was taking photos on my little iPhone, and like it doesn't do justice. Yeah, being able to see those palaces was definitely a highlight. Um, though in Bangkok we unfortunately like fell victim to a scam. I mean, we're all safe. Nobody was hurt, but I remember we were on our way from the Grand Palace to go see like the reclining Buddha, and a guy comes up to us and is like, "Hey, like and it was a Thai guy was, and he was speaking English to us, saying like, "Hey, like reclining Buddha's closed today. Like it's a Buddhist holiday. Like, but if you want, like." He had a tuk-tuk and like a driver. He said, "We can take you around town to see like the other um temples." And we were like, "Yeah, sounds great, why not?" He gave us an amazing price, and we were like, "What? Like, are you sure?" Like, and he was like, "Yeah, like that's the price." Ended up taking us, I mean, we went to like another small temple like to see other Buddhas. There was a lawyer, like it's probably not even a lawyer, involved in saying like, "Oh, you guys should definitely go to this tailor. Like you have to go to this tailor if you want to be part of high society." It was just hilarious. We ended up at this tailor, like my dad and Tim bought some things. The guy was extremely pushy at the tailor. In the end, I mean, like we got the things that were ordered, but it was just like a unsettling experience in a way, like to, yeah, feel taken advantage of. So that was unfortunate. But other than that, I mean, like 99% of the Thai people were like honest and friendly and so kind. Unfortunately, in any big city, I guess like there are scams. And like I said, we're very grateful to like not have been hurt. So, I mean, that's what matters. You got to count your wins there. Um, Another highlight of Bangkok was definitely the markets in general. Like the Chatuchak weekend market has 15,000 stalls. So this is a market that's open on the weekends, and I think it's the largest market in the world. And when I tell you like 15,000 stalls, it really like it's never ending. Absolutely never ending. What can you buy there? Food, um, clothing, anything, like anything you can possibly imagine, like jewelry, like bags, socks, like just like anything, I don't know, kitchenware. It was so much fun. Um, I will say, like, I will be back there one day with a plan, because there is just like, yeah, never ending rows of different stalls. So like think of like the coolest flea market you've ever been to in your life, with used and new stuff. It was just a sight to see for sure. And then we also were able to go to a train night market, which was cool in the east of Bangkok. And that was more local for sure. Like there weren't many tourists there. Definitely a more authentic experience, and also got some like really cool secondhand shirts and um some decent food. I remember it being hard to find vegan food out there, like at the more local place. But nevertheless, it was still really cool, and I could definitely recommend that night train market. But enough about Bangkok. After our 4 nights there, we went on to Chiang Mai, where we found peace, where I found peace. Like I said, Chiang Mai has, I think, 1.2 million people. We took a flight there because I think if you take a bus, it's something like 10 hours, or like, yeah, because it stops multiple times. It's just way too far, kind of, for a trip like the one that we were on. We get to Chiang Mai, and it is absolutely, yeah, beautiful, quaint, sweet, and just like a place that I felt like I could breathe in. I remember we went to a little night market again that was on the main street in Chiang Mai that was so sweet. I got like a blouse and like a pair of pants, cotton pants there that were handmade, and other cotton pieces, which was so cool. I loved getting to support like the local artists there. These night markets, honestly, in Thailand are just so, so cool. We don't have anything like that in Texas or here in Munich, where I live, where these aren't just like festivals on the weekends. These markets like are there like all the time, or they happen like weekly all year long, which is very, very cool. And I guess the Thai people in that sense also just have a culture of going out and enjoying life and walking a bit and eating delicious street food. So definitely enjoyed Chiang Mai. We took a cooking class that was really cool. And we learned about the 4 different curries. And yeah, I think the cooking class was so, so worth it. Tim and I cook quite a lot uh, here in Munich. So it was, yeah, really fun to get to see how the authentic Thai food is made. And funny enough, I think the year before for my birthday present, Tim had given me the sweetest, most thoughtful gift of a Thai cooking class here in Munich that was also so much fun and incredible. So we were just like, yeah, like let's keep this vibe going and take a class in Thailand. And I could highly recommend it. It was, yeah, really well organized. We even went to like where the locals shop for their fruits and vegetables prior to the class. So it was a beautiful learning experience that we really liked. In Chiang Mai, we also had a great massage. There, can't forget that one that like included like a tea before and after, and like they gave us little paper that asked like where is it hurting, like what strength do you want, things like that. That was super, super nice. Um, and we also went to the Dui Sutep temple, which definitely was a highlight in Chiang Mai as well. So we took this kind of red truck to get there. He kept wanting us to like do a whole day tour, and we're like, no, 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 thanks. Like we just want to go up the hill kind of there and back, because they have a lot to offer in Chiang Mai, but we were there only for a few days, so we really wanted to make sure that we did, yeah, a few things here and there, but like didn't pack our 2 days just like on an organized trip, because that's kind of not our vibe. So we went up to this mountain, or like the hilltop, and went to the temple, and it was absolutely beautiful, so peaceful. The flowers were blooming, and just so beautiful. I got so many nice pictures on my phone of the temple. And yeah, that was an experience that I could definitely recommend as well. A funny thing in Chiang Mai that I wanted to talk about is my experience with the Asian koa bird. That was like, ah, ah. And there's this bird in Thailand, like, if you know, you know, that's loud. Oh my gosh, like it wakes you up. I think it starts um chirping away like, I don't know, at 7 a.m. So I was just like trying to like live my best life on vacation and sleep in and relax. And this damn bird like will haunt my dreams. Some people I saw like videos on TikTok like saying like that they find that bird comforting because they're like, oh, I'm home, like I'm back home when they go back to Thailand. Um, I didn't find that, so because 'cause I'm not used to a bird being like that, distinct and loud. Nevertheless, I thought that was really funny, and very cute that, like, I saw TikTok videos about that bird as well. So yeah, overall, Chiang Mai, like, so cute and sweet, and I definitely would return to Chiang Mai one day, if we go back to Thailand. So after Chiang Mai, we proceeded to go to Ao Nang, which is on the peninsula area and in the state of Krabi. And we took a flight there to get there. I think we had to switch in Bangkok, so it took kind of a while. But we, yeah, went to Ao Nang and we're so excited because we are like, oh, perfect. Like, this is our beach time. Like, it's going to be so peaceful, like, rejuvenating, restful. And we get there and, like, dang, I was like super let down by Ao Nang itself because like the main street was just also a bit chaotic, but it felt like a cheap version of like Miami Beach, or people have told me like similar maybe to um Greece, like where like there's just like a very, very touristy spot. And how can I describe it? There was just like a whole strip of like tourist shops and like Irish pubs and then more Irish pubs and um I don't know. It was a bit frustrating because it was hard when we were planning our trip. We were like, okay, we want to go to like a tropical place like with a beach that isn't in Thailand, that isn't too touristy, but we also don't want to go. It was our first time going to the country, right? We didn't want to go somewhere to like an island that was like not known for tourism at all, because we were like, okay, that's like next level. Maybe we don't do that on our first trip. Um, so yeah, I know like there are like several other islands in Thailand that are like even more touristy than like the Ao Nang area. So like thankfully we didn't go there. But overall, our impression of Ao Nang was like it's very, very touristy. And when you look around, there isn't a single like Thai person on vacation there. Like couldn't find them, none. And it's probably for a reason. It was a ton of Brits, a ton of French people, not so many Americans actually. I like almost didn't hear any because I guess it's just so far. Um, but just overhyped, man. And TikTok like had been pushing like Ao Nang to me. Because I probably had liked some posts and like people are overhyping it. It's crazy. Like we went to the night market there and it also like didn't feel so local or genuine. Like it was literally just like you could tell this night market was made for the tourists. And Tim had made a comment when we were there saying like, how many people around us do you think like feel like duped like we feel? And I told him like, I don't know, like not many. I think they're like living their best life. I think this is exactly what they wanted. Which is fair for them too, you know, like everybody has a different style of traveling and I can respect that. I think this just like was not our typical preferred style. Like we don't love like super, super touristy areas. Um, yeah, and want to experience more of like the real local culture. So definitely wouldn't be going to back to Ao Nang itself, the city, but the reason why we had chosen Ao Nang is because of its great proximity to a lot of islands right off the coast. So they, from Ao Nang, like as a home base, there are several different islands that one could take day trips to, and that's like the allure of the area. So one of the days we did go to Railay Beach, which was very cool. One thing I will say is that like one should, if you're going to Thailand, like you should plan in advance because things get booked up pretty fast. Like these areas themselves or the islands themselves are very small. So things get booked out pretty far in advance. And when we were looking like a few months before, even like a lot of the things, like the good accommodations were already taken. So therefore, we ended up in Ao Nang and like not staying on Rayleigh, and like it was also very expensive, so that factored into it as well. But we enjoyed going to Rayleigh Beach, and then another day, we went to Chicken Island, which was an island, I think about like 45 minutes from Ao Nang, like the coast. Um, it was gorgeous. So we take these, I think they're called like long tail boats, to Chicken Island. And Tim and I get there, and the driver's like, okay, like I'll be back in whatever amount of hours. We were so excited. We get off this boat, and this is one of the most beautiful islands. Not one of the most, it was the most beautiful island I've ever been on in my life. Like, just absolutely stunning. We were so, so excited. We're like, yay, like, we're no longer in Ao Nang, like we're like in this dream of a place for the next few hours. So we get to the beach. It's pretty desolate. Luckily, we had packed a ton of snacks in the event that they didn't have like a snack bar or any place on the island, but we get there and there was a small little bar. Um, we put our stuff down in the sand. I get so excited. We're just like, yes, like let's go into this water. It looks like a dream. So we go in, and we both have our goggles, and immediately, of course, we see like that there are a ton of corals like everywhere, which is really cool and beautiful. So we're both very decent swimmers. I was on the swim team, fun fact, in high school, and we're just out there kind of snorkeling without a snorkel, looking at all the corals kind of just existing horizontally. And I think we're out there like, I don't know, something like less than 10 minutes. And at one point, I think I just felt a little overwhelmed. I was like, oh man, like, I think it was actually, I saw an anemone and some sea urchins. I mean, sea urchins are kind of not new to me, but the anemone that was like pretty big and like it was black and like I don't know, I just felt a bit overwhelmed and I was like, "Oh, I'm really like in the wild. Like I'm in their territory. Like maybe I should respect that." Um and just leave. So I kind of pop up and I tell Tim like, "Hey, like I'm going to go back, but please like enjoy." And he was like, "Okay." And the moment I turn around to go back to the shore, I feel fire on my neck. And there is like no question in my mind like what happened in that moment. And it was a jellyfish had stung me. And I've never been stung by a jellyfish before in my life. So it's funny because like coming from someone who had never been stung before in their life, like you would think like, how do you know? Like, but like you know. It's not like a little burn. Like it just felt like fire and needles on my neck. Um, I kind of panic, but I swim back to the shore and I get there in the sand. And I'm looking at Tim out there thinking like, damn, my boyfriend's out there and like so is this jellyfish. But I didn't want to bother him. He looked like so sweet and like having a good time. And I didn't want to ruin that. So I'm there for like maybe 2 minutes on the beach, like with like serious 10 out of 10 pain. 10 out of 10 shooting pain on my neck. And like I am literally like clutching my fists and trying to breathe slowly. And suddenly, luckily, it was only like 2 minutes that it only took 2 minutes for Tim to come back. He gets back, and that's like when I realized like I think I should be like more concerned. Like, and I was like, Tim, like I got stung by a jellyfish, like it's on my effing neck. I was so mad about that. Like, why is it on my neck? And it was just burning like on fire, wouldn't stop. And he was like, we gotta go talk to someone. And I was like, yeah, true. We went and a local gave us, like at the bar area, he gave me a cup of vinegar and some cotton balls to put on it. So I immediately did that, put that on my neck. Um, I mean, it's just feeling like little needles and fire on the neck. And I suddenly start Googling, which one could say, like, Pauline, like, why would you do that to yourself? But like, I wanted to be informed because prior to going to Thailand, I knew that there were some deadly jellyfish as well. So I read like an article saying that um, a young German girl had died, I believe, in either this year or last year, off the coast of Koh Samui, um, from a box jellyfish sting. Um, and that just like completely freaked me the fuck out. I was like, oh my gosh. Um, and then I was just like, I think asking chat, oh my gosh, imagine like if like my last moments on this earth like were spent like talking with AI, like messaging. I asked chat like how does one know if like you're dying from a jellyfish sting? And I quickly found out that there's two common ways. One is actually quite instant, I believe, that like when it's like like a large coverage of your body is stung, and it could be like spanning from like your chest to your legs, and like I think like it's too much for the body to handle, that like you go into cardiac arrest and like people can die like in the water. And then the other like option of death like says that like, or it could happen like 1 hour after the sting. And I read this, and I think I read this like at like the 20 or 30-minute mark after I've been stung. And I took it to heart. Like I was dead serious, like reading that. I was just like, oh, mind you, like my pain now like went from like a 10 to a 9. It's still shooting. Um, and in that moment, I was like, I looked up and like I think I first panicked a bit. I like panicked and I was like, Tim, like I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous. Like, but a part of me knew like, girl, like you need to also just like breathe, like focus on your breathing and like get it together. Um, I looked around at the most like beautiful beach I've ever seen in my life, and the thought crossed my mind that like I could die here. I could die like on this, yeah, on this beautiful beach. And the thought crossed my mind that like, well, I mean, this is the most beautiful place I've been to. So like that would be kind of iconic. No, that's silly. But just like, wow, like at least like it's not in a, I don't know, like white hospital room. But the thought crossed my mind, and it's a kind of a, yeah, honestly, it's kind of a scary thought, of course, but honestly, I have never ever thought in my life like, oh, like this could be it. I guess I should knock on wood. But like I've never had a moment in my life where like I thought that this could be it. And I told him like, I have a note in my iPhone, because I do. I have a note in my iPhone like with all of my wishes for my death if it were to happen. Um, while I'm living in Germany, because I like to control I'd like to control the narrative of that, like I wouldn't want to keep people guessing. So I literally told him like, here's my note. Long story short, I live to tell the tale. The pain went down like towards the end of the hour. Like I was at a 4, and it kind of stayed there the rest of the day. We got a cream from the pharmacy for it. I get back to Munich, and a few days later, it was like a week after the jellyfish sting, I have like what looks like kind of like a scar in a circle on my neck that was like purple reddish. I get into my office here in Munich and I tell my colleagues, like, hey, like, I got stung by a jellyfish, just to let you know, like, this on my neck was from a jellyfish and nothing else. Just had to set that story straight. So in the end, it was something like I could laugh about, but pretty crazy. Um, yeah, I think moving on to like the last location that we went to in Thailand was Koh Samui. Koh Samui is an island. So from Ao Nang, the coast on the peninsula, we took a bus to the other side of the peninsula, east, and then we took a boat. And the boat was actually pretty cool. It was massive, took thousands of people. So we get there to Koh Samui, and we were like in the fisherman's village, and another village nearby there for 4 nights. It was very cute. It was very sweet. It was more of a restful time because at that point, I mean, it was location 4, and we just like wanted to chill out. Took it pretty easy, had some nice meals, spent some time on the beach, but at this point, like I was nervous. I was really kind of scared looking at the water, like it could be dangerous out there. Like I was just really, really scared and scarred from getting stung by a jellyfish on my neck. So we kind of just left it as is and like just relaxed the last moments there. Koh Samui was very, very nice. We stayed in a local area because I know that there's also a very touristy area. And thank God, like when we were planning, we were like, absolutely not. We want to be in the calm part. Koh Samui is also where the last season of The White Lotus was filmed, which Tim and I have since watched like after returning from Thailand. And oh my gosh, The White Lotus, y'all, if you haven't seen it yet, it's absolutely crazy. Um, yeah, just completely silly. But what a beautiful island. Um, could also recommend. So then we went back to Bangkok for 1 night, and that was the end of the trip. It was, yeah, incredible. I had several moments where I felt a bit overwhelmed. I think I cried probably like 4 different times. I'm just an emotional girl. um, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I own that. Like I've never tried to hide that. Um, yeah, but it was a bit stressful, but I definitely would go back now knowing what I know, and yeah, with a different plan. I want to move into now talking about Thai food because the food was absolutely incredible. Seriously. Nothing like that, like the authentic Thai food in Thailand compares to food that you can get here in Munich. And you'd think I'd like would be eating like pad Thai all the time. But I only actually had it once on the trip. So I had quite a lot of curries. And they have 4 main curries there, which are like the red, green, the massaman, and the panang curry. One of them is like more Indian style, and the other one has peanuts in it. Just so, so good, guys. Like, we never had a bad curry. Not once. Like, I mean, of course, there were better curries than other places, but like, we never had a bad one. The food is just so good, very aromatic and like fragrant, full of flavor and spice. And like, if you're someone like me that loves spice, like, Thailand is definitely the place for you. They also have like papaya salad that was absolutely delicious. Um, and how can I forget mango sticky rice? I ate my way through the trip eating mango sticky rice. I swear I almost ate it every single day. It was mango season there in Thailand, and it was absolutely delectable. I dream of it here in Munich. It's like a little nutty, it's creamy, it's salty, it's juicy. Like, I could not get enough. Sometimes I just wanted mango sticky rice for dinner. We also had dried mango, freaking delicious there. Coconut water, like all the time, and I'm a coconut water lover. I'd also never had coconut water in my life, like out of a coconut, straight from it. Absolutely delicious, refreshing. They say it has electrolytes, like, just so, so nice. And also a lot of juices and smoothies, which were really delicious as well, because I mean, you're in a tropical place that has really good fruit. The fruit just doesn't compare in Germany. I mean, we're not growing a ton of tropical fruit here. It's just not a thing. So something that we definitely enjoyed. We definitely probably didn't drink enough water. Should have had more water. But when it's just so blazing hot, like we were saying that like maybe like our tolerance for sugar is just different because like we were craving sugar. And it was so, so nice. Um, yeah, being vegan was not super super hard like in Thailand, especially like going to traditional places. I will say, of course, like one thing that you might not know, like sometimes or like you're guessing even if you tell them is like fish sauce, cuz in Thailand, they use fish sauce in everything. Luckily, like I'm not allergic to fish, so maybe I had curries that had it, even if I said vegan. But so be it. I was trying my absolute best. Um, but in general, like there's so many dishes that have vegetables and tofu, and they're just so good. We really enjoyed some street food. Of course, people always say like make sure you go to a stall that is like cooking the food fresh there or frying it fresh in front of you, because there are some stands that like have like piles of kind of pre-cooked food that like maybe you don't want to risk. But yeah, the night markets were just a ton of fun, and eating there, like having all these options, so cool. I really enjoyed like the cultural part of that. But sometimes I also like wasn't in the mood for fried food, especially because it was really warm at night as well. It was blazing the day, and then like at night, it just felt like you're in a blow dryer, and like sometimes like the last thing you want is fried food. So there was that. But so like yeah, night market had like a lot of fried stuff, like fresh stuff too. Um, but I also really enjoyed like sitting down at places, at little restaurants, getting to relax a bit, and enjoying those delicious curries. One thing that we learned that I didn't know is that Thai people eat with a fork and spoon. So no need to have like professional chopstick skills, which for me was really awesome because I'm not the best at using chopsticks. I hold my pencil and pen like wrong to start with. So there lies the problem. Um, but yeah, we also learned that they use their spoon to squeeze, like the edge of their spoon to squeeze lime into all their food, which was also a fun hack. And I'm a sucker for lime, like coming from Texas where we have Tex-Mex food. Like I love lime in everything, and so do Thai people. So I loved finding that we had that in common. Um, Yes, what can I say? Like interactions with the locals there like were really positive. People were so hospitable. It's so true that like what my friend Ong said that I mean, yeah, that because Thailand is such a tourist destination that like people like it's for a reason, right? Like it's because the locals are pretty tolerant of tourists. I will say, of course, like we did on many parts in our trip, like see some kind of rude, kind of trashy tourists, not being so polite, which is really sad and disappointing. Yeah, so that sucks that people with restaurants would have to experience that, but we always do our best to be respectful and kind. Learning please and thank you. Kapunka was a phrase that we also often said. But yeah, like I said, so it wasn't that hard to find vegan options, even at traditional places. And this was a bit different to our last trip in Asia that was in South Korea, because I just remember like being in Korea sometimes when we weren't in Seoul, like we'd have to always try to find like a vegan place and not a traditional place, because traditional places like typically had a lot of fish and meat but not many vegetable based dishes, whereas in Thailand even the traditional places had like vegetable dishes, like our vegetable stir fry, which was super nice. Next up, I want to talk about massages, because that was, yeah, definitely a big highlight of our trip. I think I had maybe 5 or 6 massages within the 2.5 weeks there. And I think Tim had like 7 massages or 8, because I think he went a few more times than I did. We just loved it. We really enjoyed it. On average, it was, I think, around 450 baht per hour or 500 baht per hour, which is around 12 to 13 euro, um, which is an amazing price. Coming from Munich, where in Munich we pay about 60 euro an hour. And definitely, I would say that the massages here just like don't hit the same. Like they're not as good as the massages, the Thai massages in Thailand, right? Like in the country where they come from. So we really just had such a great time getting to, yeah, relax and have those massages. Like I said, like in Chiang Mai, we had such a good experience where we like filled out a form, like, and told them exactly what we wanted. And like they washed our feet and like gave us a tea and like little cookies before and after. And I just had like one of the best massages ever that was so hard. I'll never forget. I told Tim that I was literally praying during it. And I was just like, that's when you know it's good. Cause I was like, oh my gosh, this is really, really intense. But it was so worth it. And then the last day that we were in Thailand, we had a 2-hour massage in Bangkok. I'd never had a 2-hour massage in my life. Like, that's just like an insane luxury, right? Like, that one would not typically get here in Germany or maybe even in the US. It was incredible. Oh my gosh. I left that 2-hour massage, like, telling Tim that, like, that woman, like, took care of me. I literally felt like so taken care of. And she took her time and like there was just like love in her hands. And then like after our 12-hour flight back to Munich, like I didn't even feel like a piece of shit. Like my back felt fine. I was like, damn, like this has to be like from getting like a 2-hour massage right before the flight. So definitely was a highlight of the trip. And definitely would be a reason why I go back to Thailand. Like, I would love to go back to Thailand, simply on the basis of eating and getting massages. Like the food itself, like, I miss it every day. I want to transition also, lastly, into some things that I would do differently and tips. Um, so what did I wish like is there anything that I wish I knew before going? Maybe about the jellyfish, but like that can't help you. I maybe like there's different seasons about that, but just knowing like how crazy it is and like that Bangkok's a big city, and if you're not a big city person, then like go find like what interests you instead and like go to a smaller area. Um and make sure to pack shirts that cover your shoulders and or a scarf. Because if you're visiting these temples, you are going to need to have like appropriate clothing, like a long skirt to your ankles or like long pants, and it's blazing hot. I just remember like I brought like little tank tops and things like that, and I just completely had forgotten to take a normal t-shirt. So Tim lent me his, which was really sweet. But that's important if you go to the temples to dress appropriately. I would say don't ride tuk-tuks in Bangkok. That's just like my personal take. And my friend Ong, who is from Thailand, like told us that Thai people don't ride the tuk-tuks actually. Like that's like they know that it's a scam and that's just like for tourists because there's no set rate. So like the tuk-tuk drivers just like say whatever the hell they want to say. So don't ride them. How do we get around? We took Ubers quite a lot, or I think Bolt. I think that's what they were called, Bolt or Grab. And we also took some public transport, like their rail line and underground. So that worked as well. I wrote drink more water than you think because it's hot as hell. I think that's a good one. Use their bug spray. It comes in a pink bottle. I wouldn't like bother and trying to like bring your own bug spray from your country. Like just get the one that they have. Like I'm sure it's strong and good. In the north there is dengue fever, which can actually be pretty intense. I mean, luckily we didn't get it, but we did get so many mosquito bites. Like we were eaten alive. So properly use bug spray. That's important. And then lastly, I wrote like, don't go to Ao Nang if you're like Tim and I and like aren't into like very touristy places. We thought it wasn't going to be as bad as like Phuket or other touristy places, but like it was very, very touristy and just like not our vibe. So next time we would go to a very chill island or like just a place that like we know that like Thai locals would go to. Next time I'm just gonna ask my friend Ong like, hey, where do you vacation in Thailand? And I think that that would be like the right thing to do. So yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, then feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you know someone who wants to travel to Thailand, then feel free to give it a share and maybe this episode can help them. And last but not least, my last episode was with my friend Ong, who I had mentioned, who studied with me at the Technical University in Munich, and now lives back in his hometown of Bangkok, Thailand. I recorded an episode with him, and yeah, it's the last one before this. So feel free to check that out if you're interested and haven't heard it already. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. The Pod Abroad's video, audio, and music is produced and edited by Tim Teherne. Make sure to give us a follow and leave a comment if you like this episode.